Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are taking a look at a very serious and very disturbing controversy involving horror author Troy Poppler and his new book Saint Mick and the allegations around AI-generated CSAM. Before we go any further today, there will be mentions of CSAM, but no actual images. Don't worry, no actual images, but some descriptions. So if this is something that you find triggering or harmful, please protect yourself and watch a different video, and I'll just see you next time. Now, full disclosure, I have not seen the alleged CSAM images, so I cannot personally verify this. However, we are going to look at or watch some people who claim that they did see these images, and there's a lot of them, which leads me to believe that it's real. We're also going to look at how the author handled the criticism and the response to the AI images. So, who is Troy Poppler? Because I've never heard of him, but I'm then not in the extreme horror space. But he is a horror author known in splatterpunk and, like I said, extreme horror circles. According to his author profile, he is a Minnesota native, US Army veteran, lover of adrenaline-fueled adventures and horror movies. He has published multiple books, and his forthcoming title, Saint Mick, has been promoted as a dark holiday horror story. But what's drawing major scrutiny isn't just the horror content, it's the way the promotion and the marketing allegedly uses some serious and perhaps probably illegal material. I feel like I'm going to be using the word allegations often just to protect myself. I do know how I feel about this and it's not great, but I'm going to use the word allegations, allegedly, like I say, just to be safe. So here are some of the allegations. This user on Reddit wrote, unsure if you'll know, but very recently, Troy Poppler, an extreme horror author, is under a bit of scrutiny because he allegedly shared images of interior art for his upcoming Christmas novella featuring AI-generated depictions of child sexual abuse. I use allegedly as he's wiped the proof of them off the internet, but is also somewhat admits to it on TikTok in this exchange and post here. That no longer exists, that TikTok. I followed the link, it didn't work, it's been taken down. And it looks like the account has actually been banned. They continue, ARC readers have mentioned there are more art pieces within the book that are also AI-generated depictions of CSA, but I haven't read that myself, so I can't say. I believe his socials are pulled down on other sites as people have now been made aware of what's going on outside his follower circle. It's important to note that LLMs like ChatGPT have had access to materials like CSAM, so it's entirely possible that whatever model was used or however the LLM generated this may have constructed images from real-life CSAM imagery. So I actually was notified about this because I came across a TikTok by Jojo Bean Reads, who is also very concerned, and rightly so, about the book and its images.
Okay, so usually books are subjective, okay? Everybody likes what they like, everybody reads all their different genres, and I'm not like a yuck someone's yum situation because I read some of the most horrendous extreme horror and splatterpunk. But yesterday, I discovered that a particular author, his name is Troy Poppler, I don't mind naming names because it deserves to be done, decided that in order to promote his newest book called Saint Mick, where Father Christmas is a Schmedo, he was going to create AI-generated images of a child in a particular situation with the Schmedo. And when I say images, I'm talking plural, and then posted them everywhere. Now, these images had been up for at least a week before I spotted them, and nobody said a thing. The amount of people commenting on this post, giving it, oh my god, I can't wait for this, let me see, like, what do you mean? I 100% read the most hideous stuff, okay? But there is a way, and at least from the authors that I've read, where they do this in a way where it's not just written for shock factor. If you look at AI-generated images of a child in that situation and you don't think there's anything wrong with it, you need to look in the mirror and you need to question what the fuck's wrong with you. I already know what's wrong with me. I already know why I read the dark and hideous stuff. I'm well aware. But there is a huge difference between reading something and then generating images like that to promote your book. And for anybody else that listens to this, that saw my comments yesterday on other apps and thought I was the problem, jail. And that's what I've got to say.
So this is another TikTok by Ren, who goes on to talk a little bit more about the imagery and who has allegedly seen the images.
I want to make something super fucking crystal clear. I would say that I dabble in the extreme horror community. Never has there been a time where I have seen images glorifying CSA where I've just been like, oh yeah, definitely gonna pick that up and read it. What's more is that the images are AI generated. As if AI wasn't disgusting enough, now we're making CP with it, apparently, to advertise books. I was on the Face app yesterday morning on a splatterpunk group. There was a review. 5 stars even. This worthless pile of human waste decided that it would be okay to use AI to generate CP images to advertise his book. Do you not see the issues here? It's one thing to write about the effects of the trauma, but when you are literally feeding prompts into an AI image generator, where do you think the images are coming from? Where are those images coming from? They're not coming out of the air. They use references from real photographs and other images like it. So yes, sir, you are creating CP to advertise your book, and you're disgusting. If you want to write about the effects, the mental anguish, the revenge that someone may have gotten against their abuser, carry on. But if you are writing CSA scenes and that's the point of your story, you need to be on a list. And everybody that's reading this and rating it 5 stars, you need to be on a list.
Now, Troy has been responding to Jojo Bean Reads in some pretty aggressive replies. So let me just read you some here. So Jojo Bean says, the fact you thought this was appropriate is actually fucking vile. How any of you thought generated AI images of a child being R-worded is absolutely disgusting. I read a lot of horror / splatterpunk, and this is abhorrent and gives every single other author in this community a bad name. The author, Troy Poppler, responds, don't read it. I'll worry about important shit like honoring my father who just passed away. Free will though, so don't fucking read it. He goes on further to say, fucking come on my fucking page. Get the fuck off here. I think that's what that abbreviation means. I don't know. And then JJB replies with, you literally created AI child pornography, homie. I'm sure your dad would be thrilled. Also, I'm not quite sure where the connection is or why he would bring up his dad's passing. To me, that feels like kind of deflecting and a bit like, oh, I'm the victim. I don't know. Very horrible though. Like anyone's parents, anyone you know passing, horrible. You know, that is a horrible thing to experience. I'm not negating that, but it's just strange to have brought it up in the reply to the allegations of AI CSAM. So this is JJ Beans on Threads as well. I know we just watched the video, but we'll talk about the thread. Today I discovered an extreme horror author who thought it was a great idea to create AI-generated images of CSA to promote his book. That it was totally fine because it's a work of fiction and I am just too sensitive. The amount of people telling me that I am the one in the wrong for calling him out and reporting him is actually insane. Just because it wasn't real doesn't mean it's any less fucked up. And an author responded here, not Troy, a different author, but it is real because AI can only pull from real things. Somebody needs to check his hard drive because I'm pretty sure generating CSAM would still fall under Title 18. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming it's a law thing. JJ Beans replies with, I know, vile. And this other author, Cynthia, replies with, I have an entire academic paper I'm writing on this, and I'm not arguing with people on the internet about it, but while horror can process fear and anxiety, when we cross into some areas, we're seeing a celebration of deviance rather than catharsis. Ethics and aesthetics have been left out of this conversation too long, and what's happened is people are fetishizing suffering and turning pain into spectacle. It's not reflective, it's corrosive. And they go on to say, cathartic horror is about survival, empathy, and yes, when brutal, it can be framed with moral gravity. Deviance reduces human suffering into entertainment and frames victims as props. It desensitizes rather than illuminates. There's a difference between challenging an audience and violating them. Is this transgressive or asserting hierarchies of those groups who historically inflicted pain throughout society? I say clear of anyone who writes within that space. There are just too many lines being crossed in terms of morals and ethics, and now the law. And there are too many people that are using the frame of artistic liberty to justify generating violent content for the sake of violence, and I want nothing to do with those people. Generating that type of image is illegal, and that individual should be reported. Since then, Troy has also taken to his social media platforms, before any of them were banned or removed, to voice his thoughts. I'm now banned on Facebook and IG for 180 days. I'm asking all my fans and followers to please rally around me, since one triggered Karen managed to get me banned on Facebook and Instagram over a promotional pic designed for my upcoming extreme holiday horror masterpiece, Saint Mick. I really need you guys, so please help promote my name and all my works. Love you all. Troy Poppler. So here are some more screenshots from Troy Poppler. So this one says, the book even isn't released yet and it's ruffled everyone's feathers. Good, suck it, Karen. He says, thanks to the ones who stood by my side, I see you, as do my sisters who were put through the ringer along with me just 1 week after burying our father. I also came across this really good blog called The Expert Book Smuggler, who dived into this controversy more, plus came with some response screenshots from Troy himself. I'll leave the link in the description below to the blog in case you want to read further on their thoughts. But these are the screenshots that I saw on their blog. This one says, the witch hunt continues. Well, they got what they wanted. I've even received death threats. My sisters are terrified for me and my own children now because of this witch hunt. No one bothered to read the story, just chose to attack me and my family. Cancel culture for cowards who hide behind keyboards, all while kissing some new author's ass. But you know what? Here's what matters in the end. My son, who I loved and had to watch die in front of me at 26 years old, a child I would have died for to protect. Yet they all call me horrible names and try to ruin my life. Ain't that grand? Guess what though? I'ma keep writing because that's what I do. I mean, horrible to have had a child die and have to have had watched that. That's awful. I'm finding it really strange bringing that up in these responses to allegations, as if that's a reason that generating that kind of imagery would be okay. Now, like I said, I personally have not seen the images myself, but this TikTok from user Jade does roughly describe at least one of the images, just so we can kind of get some context. I know I did a disclaimer at the beginning saying about there'll be some description, so this is one of them going in. This is probably, I think, the only one actually that I'm about to play now. So if it's not something you want to listen to, please do just skip forward or mute it, just whatever you feel comfortable with.
Troy Poppler. A quick Google search or search on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or anywhere will tell you exactly why this author is in hot water right now. If you haven't seen the image, I don't recommend going looking for it. It's awful. Trigger warning, I'm going to describe it for those who haven't seen it. It's AI generated. It's black and white. It is a girl on her hands and knees on the floor. She looks very young. She has pigtails in her hair. She's crying. There's tears going down her cheeks. She looks incredibly frightened.
So on screen, it does say that the child's mouth is duct taped.
There is blood all over her, specifically her legs. And there is a grown, pantsless man in a Santa costume standing behind her with this disgusting smile on his face. That is the image that Poppler posted to Facebook. Also, content of the image aside, which is disgusting in itself, but this cornball is using AI. A lot of us have seen those screenshots. A lot of us have those screenshots. So at the end of the day, you can go private. You can try and wipe everything. You can delete your accounts. But what you posted is still there. One of Poppler's posts included the phrase, "Suck it, Karen," which I find absolutely hilarious, because after his posts received backlash and people were calling him vile, disgusting, evil, all of this stuff, he made another post saying that he has lawyers and he's going to sue multiple content creators for defamation.
Sorry, the music was really good then.
That is so funny that you all of a sudden want to get lawyers involved because people are stating their opinions on the pictures you posted. But we're the Karens. I'm sorry. We're the Karens. Also, with defamation, you're going to have to prove that we're all lying on your name, which is hilarious once again because the screenshots are there. You posted the picture. We reacted to it. And me saying that that picture was nasty is not something you can sue me or anybody else over. I'm sorry, babe. That's just not how it works. And I'm sorry your feelings are hurt. Cry about it. At this point, I don't even think I have to go into my opinions on this. I'm sure it's blatantly obvious that it is abhorrent. It's disgusting. It's vile. It's evil. It's gross. No matter what way you look at this, that, and specifically that image, no words. He took no accountability for the situation, and he's still trying to release the book, which is called Saint Mick. All I have to say about that is an unhinged killer Santa Claus. That hasn't ever been done before. It's outdated. It's unoriginal. And the fact that you had to put child SA in it to try and get it off the ground is wild to me.
Again, here are some screenshots from the Expert Book Smugglers blog of Troy's response to the allegations. My book, Saint Mick, will be released as promised, lawsuits to follow. I will be releasing my holiday horror, Saint Mick, in a few weeks. In addition, my family and I will be filing multiple defamation lawsuits against at least 4 individuals who have maliciously slandered my reputation online. I have been cleared of all wrongdoing and have been advised to take legal action against these individuals. We have posts, videos, and messages as proof of this attack, and we have excellent representation. Many of my fellow authors have been hurt by smear campaigns, but I will stand up for them all. No human should be put through what my family's been put through. Just 2 weeks after burying our father, it now stops. Godspeed, everyone. Again, losing someone is horrible, and they must be going through a lot. I will say, in a slight, not defense, but just, I know that when people do something wrong online, some people, the way that people come for that person or that person's family online can be very severe, very detrimental to like their mental health. But at the same time, when you're being accused of generating AI-generated child SA, I don't know if maybe you should be given grace. I don't know. I feel like if you did that and you kind of like didn't, I don't know why, but if you didn't even think about the fact that you'd done it, or like the hurt or the harm that it had caused, would it not have just been easier to have like come out and be like, oh my fucking God, I did not even like think that. That wasn't my intention. I don't know. To those who targeted me and by proxy my family, you don't know how strong I am. Losing a child unfortunately took strength to survive and move on, as did losing 2 sisters, a wife, and both parents. You don't even know me or my life, but how quickly you all judged me. But guess what? I'm still here because I'm a survivor, and we will all have a judgment day. Believe that. Have a wonderful day. Thank you to the ones who stood by me. Again, weaponizing the loss of family members. That's horrible, losing that many people. I can't even imagine how that feels. Losing people doesn't mean that you can't also exploit children. I don't know what else to say about that. Again, it's so defensive and there's no accountability. You have to know what you've done. You have to know. Also, like it was mentioned about prompts. Imagine, I'd love to know what the prompt was. I kind of don't really want to know what the prompt was. But what was the prompt? To have thought about how you wanted that image to look and what you would put into the prompt to get it to generate that. I don't know. That is weird in itself, I feel like. So the horror readers and reviewers say they have encountered posts or materials associated with the book's ARC distribution or advertisement, which they believe crosses the line from extreme horror into legal content. Now, Troy hasn't really explained or taken accountability, like I said a minute ago, in any way in any of these replies. It seems like he believes everyone is lying and coming for him for literally no reason. I mentioned it earlier, like he plays the victim card so many times and uses deaths in his family to push back the criticism. Again, like I've said many times so far in this video, losing someone in your family must be absolutely devastating, and I feel sorry for anyone losing a loved one. But to use that to defend allegations of generating AI CSAM seems a little weird to me. And like Jade said, many have screenshots of the alleged images. A lot of people have said this. I've read it, I've listened to people say it. At this point, there is no confirmed public legal finding or widely reported mainstream news articles that verify these claims beyond Reddit and TikTok discussions. That could change by the time this video comes out. So ultimately, that means that they remain allegations, even if we feel differently. However, I will say the author or like publisher has not, to my knowledge, refuted all the details in the matter. Let's discuss the legal and ethical risks, right? So child SA, CSAM is illegal everywhere. If AI-generated images or content crosses into CSAM territory, the legal consequences, I would say, are quite severe. And this is why many people have brought this up. AI uses real fucking photos and imagery to create its own work, which means it's pulling inspiration and ideas from real CSAM material. Why do you think it's such a huge discussion about AI-generated like book art? It's stealing from the artists who have actually physically drawn this kind of stuff and then like create its own thing. Like that's how it learns. How else would it be able to recreate it unless it has viewed other such material? I don't understand how he's not comprehending this. As AI tools become easier to use, authors who choose to use this must navigate how to use these tools responsibly, if you can. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the environmental damage also, anyway. Especially when it comes to things like minors, sexual content, depictions of abuse, and just so many other more factors. Horror, by its nature, explores extreme, taboo, and often graphic themes. The lines between like shocking horror and illegal content can sometimes become blurred. We see this often in dark romance as well. So there are many things still unknown right now. Has any law enforcement agency formally investigated Troy Poppler or his team regarding these CSAM claims? Perhaps in time they might. I mean, it happened to Tory Woods after all. Do you remember that? I'll link the video here. For anyone who didn't know, just really quickly, it was called Daddy's Little Toy, I believe. And it was the one where the dad's best friend found his 3-year-old attractive and then like waited till she was legal to pursue a relationship. But he did like think about her and like her since she was like 3, which is wrong. I'm pretty sure she got arrested. There was like a whole news article about it. It was in Australia, I'm sure. What exactly were the AI-generated images or materials in question? Are they confirmed to be CSAM or simply disturbing horror artwork? Like I said, I haven't seen them. We've heard people talk about them and describe them. It sounds all kind of wrong to me personally. I do not wish to see them. I did not search for them. My other thinking was, and I think a lot of them have like touched on, is that these kind of AI generated images can still be viewed and enjoyed by, can I say that on here? By PDFs. That's what they call them on TikTok, PDFs, because they get banned. They can still find these images and then consume them in like a sexual way. Personally, there's a lot morally wrong with this. The response from Troy himself also feels super defensive. Like, you know when someone's lying and they over-explain or they kind of bring up things that don't even need to be brought up in the same line of thinking or whatever you're talking about. Or even like when you're talking to someone and they're kind of, you can tell they're lying because they just over-explain. I don't know how to describe it, but that's how I'm feeling about a lot of these replies from the author. And to weaponize the passing of people close to them, I find very strange. That doesn't condone the AI-generated imagery of child SA. I don't know, it's just very strange. So there you have it, the controversy surrounding Troy Poppler, St. Mick, and the AI CSAM claims. I will keep an eye out for updates as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you did watch, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next time.